Hello and welcome to Walpole United WFC.
Hello, welcome back to Friday Night's Fan Forum and welcome back to Walpole United WFC. If you're wondering why I'm doing the intro and John is that side, as you can see, he's currently out and about at the moment. He looks like he's going out on a date tonight. Look at him. He looks all nice and fresh. I feel a bit underdressed now.
With your, very smart, John.
Thank you. I agree. It's not very often you'll see me in a shirt and tie.
He's taking this transfer deadline. You've missed it. Deadline there was a few days ago. All you need is your yellow tie, things like that, and you fit right in there. Hello to everyone in the comments lands. I can see you already. Make sure you get your comments and questions in. We'll get through. We've got a whole host of topics to talk about today, so make sure you get any questions in. We'll try and get through all of them. We may as well come to the first. Well, it's on the thumbnail, so we may as well talk about it first. And John Foster, I come to you first on it, considering you came up with this one about. I don't quite know which way to phrase it. Are we 3 points off top three? Are we 3 points off Champions League? And is this the biggest derby that we've had? So I don't know where you want to start on that one.
Yeah. First of all, if my Wi-Fi goes again, it's because I'm in my work's car park because I am literally at work on my dinner break. Okay, so so I just wanted to bring this point up because as me personally, I am getting quite bored of all the Man United, Man City games now, and I think I've made that quite well known, and I don't think I'm the only fan to think that as well. But I think this one does have a slight edge to it. I think if we win this game, then it means that Man City don't make Champions League, which I think is a massive thing for Man City as well. I think this is probably the first derby that we're going to go into as favourites. I know some of the experts around the place are saying something different with the odds and everything, but generally, I think if you base it on form and just how well we're playing, I think we're going to go in there as favourites. And usually it's the case of City are favourites, but United will give it everything. I think this time United are favourites and City will have to give everything. So I think you got that going on as well. And also, I do believe that if we win this one, we have to be the firm favourites for Champions League. I appreciate Tottenham's doing well. I appreciate Reading's on a run. But if you ask any Tottenham player or any Reading player or even any City player after this weekend, if we win City, who would you rather want to be? What position would you rather want to be in? A United team or a Tottenham team, Reading team or City team? They would all turn around and say United. We really have got momentum going on, and I know John, you'll bring this topic up shortly. But for me, everything that's gone on just before Christmas, and we've come out of Christmas really well as well. I just feel that everything's going in our favour at the moment. We've had some couple of good results against Arsenal, which means that we're not frightened of City at all. We know that we're going to bring a good following. City are going to be really worried about this game, and they'll also know that of all the teams to knock them out of the top three race, if it's United, they'll be hating that as well. So for me, is it the biggest derby that we've had? In my eyes, yes, because I think top three is the biggest thing that we've had going for us in the past 3.5 years.
Atanu, I'll come to each of you first, just on that initial question, and we'll go a bit more into detail. But the same question for yourself: is this the biggest derby that's obviously happened in the women's game, or do you just see it as another game because we play them so often at the moment?
I think I'll say what Mark Skinner says, that every game is an important game, and the focus is the City game in the league right now. And I think this is an important game just because if we lose this and Spurs win against Birmingham in their game, we'll be out of the top three. Yes, we might beat Tottenham when we face them the next time, but that's something that we don't really know what the situation of our team will be like when we face them. So I think this is an important derby. I do agree with John that it's becoming quite boring facing City so many times. I mean, in this season only we'll be facing them 4 times. This is our third time, and we'll be facing them in the FA Cup now. So it's become the essence of Manchester derby is being sucked out of it just because we are facing them so many times. But I think it's an important game just because I would love to see United 8 points ahead of City, and we'll be making so much fun of the Manchester City fans. So that's the main reason I really want us to win this game, and of course it cements our position in the top three, because I think Tottenham will easily beat Birmingham, so they'll be the top in the top three if we lose.
Yeah, interesting. It reminds me a little bit of what the old firm in Scotland became a few years ago, where Celtic and Rangers were playing each other so often. It was 6 times in a season, I think, once a few years ago, and it reminds me a bit of that. It's like, I think I said to my mate the other day, "Oh, I'm going to the Manchester Derby on Sunday," and she was just like, "Again? Like, I swear you've only just played them." I'm like, "Yeah, we have, and then we've got them again after the international break." It just, like you said, I think it takes a bit away from it. And John, I'll come to you. Obviously, same question again about is this the biggest derby, and just your thoughts on that. You know, we keep playing City, and just whether it takes a little bit of kind of I don't know, edge off it being a derby day.
Yeah, I think it does a little bit. Like you say, it just seems inevitable that we get them in both cup competitions. And then they always seem to be close together to the league games as well. So it does get a bit on the repetitive side. But I think this one, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a really, really crucial one as far as the league goes. You know, where we are in the season and where we are, you know, between each other's in the table. I think it's going to be a really, really, really interesting game, and hopefully we come out of it on the right side.
Just sticking with yourself on that, John Foster a minute ago, when in his opening remarks said about United going in as favourites. I'll come to each of you, I guess, on that one. John, I'll come to you first. Do you think we are favourites? I know we've got obviously a points gap over them, but you know, City getting some players back. Do you still see us as favourites going into this?
I think we are. Yeah, I mean, we obviously we should have beaten them in the league game, beat them in the Conti Cup game. Obviously, that the home game, I mean, in the league. So I think we should be favourites, really. Obviously, when we last played at their place, obviously it wasn't a very good performance, but obviously we've got our fans in there this time, so hopefully that'll make a difference. So I think we've got to go in with the sort of mentality of being favourites, in my opinion.
Is that the same for yourself, Atanu? Do you think we are going into this kind of as favourites? And is there just a random question that just popped in my mind while I was saying that? If you're Mark Skinner, would you be going in, putting the pressure on, almost saying that we're favourites in this? Or would you say, because in previous years, I'd imagine that Casey would go in, she'd never call us underdogs, but I'd imagine she'd have that element of let's play a little bit defensive. Atanu, I'll let you come to this and then anyone else can jump off the back of this. Do you think we should be going there and going, that we're better than you this year? We're coming to your place and beating you, not we're coming here for it.
Yeah, I think we were favourites in the league last time we faced them. And the minute they went down to 10 players, they scored, which is quite ironic because they were down to 10 players. But I think form goes out of the window. That's why I don't think there's a clear favourite or there's a clear loser. City do have a better squad than they had when we last faced them. But we also have had 3 amazing signings, out of which 2 are available. It's all about managing our players. It's all about managing the substitutions. It's all about getting the tactics right. I wouldn't say that we are the favourites, but the support will be massive, and United fans, as always, are very loud and proud. So I think it won't be an issue for us. It will be a relatively easier game, but I won't say that we are clear favourites. Yes, we should be winning this with the squad that we have. But I mean, football, bloody hell, anything can happen at the end of the day.
I love that quote, football, bloody hell. That's a brilliant quote. I think it's tough for me because I think you are right. I think when we went into the league game, the 2-2, I think we were slight favourites. You looked at their keeper in particular and thought you just hit it from anywhere and it's going to go in. And evident with the 2 goals that we did score, I don't think with Robert back in, either goal we scored in the home fixture would go in. If you have her in goal, so it. I don't know. In my answer to are we favourites, I'm not too sure. I think we probably should be. We're the informed team. Obviously, City lost to Chelsea last time out, so we are the informed side. However, with City getting some players back, like I said, their last game they lost to a good Chelsea side, only very narrowly as well, and they were in that game. So it's not like they lost to like they were earlier in the season, where they lost a few games. It's not like they've lost to someone that was a shock. They've lost to a very good Chelsea side. Obviously, being at I was going to say the Etihad then. It's on the Etihad campus, the academy ground. I was going to say fans make a difference, but we know that City don't have that many anyway, and they're not going to make the noise. But what they will do and what we are worried about is trying to silence the United end, and we can imagine they'll be doing everything possible to try and shut us up, or whether that's trying to sit us down, trying to move us differently, whatever it is. You hear all the rumours. John, I'll come back round to yourself, and then obviously you mentioned about favourites. Is there anything more you want to elaborate on that one, or?
Yeah, I just want to kind of just come on the back of some of the thing that you just said there, kind of about how we're going to approach the game. Will Skinner tell the guys that they're favourites or not? There are two ways you can look at it. You can turn around and say, well, to take the pressure off them, say that they're underdogs and a draw will do. But I think there's a mentality switch now. I think the fans and the players will actually want that top three. I don't think they want to go into the games anymore thinking, a 1-0 loss is okay or a draw is okay. I think from what they've seen, from what they've done against Chelsea this season, I think they'll be disappointed with a draw. Maybe when they look back and reflect, it's not the end of the world and it keeps City away from us, and I wouldn't be disappointed with a draw. But I think we have got that mentality change now where you don't go into the game playing for a draw. I think the players will go into this game thinking that they can win and knock City out of the top three race. And I think not just based on form. I mean, you can look at the last 10 games, and I think we've won 8 of them, drew 1, lost 1, something along those lines. But I think it's more of a belief thing. So when I say that we're going in as favourites, I think they're actually believing that they can win this game, and that's probably the first time that they've believe in it based on their own performances, not just because of what they do on the training ground or because we've got the best fans or whatever. So I think they will go out and go for the win. For me, I think they need to be cautious at the back. I think so long as they keep a clean sheet, they will create a few chances. But it just needs to be like the way we played Arsenal in the cup game, where we just be really strong in the midfield. Don't give away any stupid mistakes or anything like that, and the chances will come. And I think that's pretty much the way we need to approach it. Just be disciplined, and I think we will get quite a few opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. And Stuart, you've absolutely read my mind here. You're talking about United need to stop Hem to keep it quiet, because that leads perfectly into something Atanu wanted to bring up when we're talking about approaching the game. So I don't know whether Atanu, you want to lead us into your talking point for today.
Yeah, I think Lauren Hem from Manchester City will pose the biggest threat to United, and not just because she's doing really well, but because in the last game as well, in the league game that I remember, she caused a lot of problems for Ona Bhatia. If I'm getting this right, Ona was struggling, and Hannah was playing as the left back, and Ona was playing as the right back. Lauren was playing as the left winger, so of course Ona was against Lauren, but Ona was struggling, and that's why Skinner switched Hannah and Ona, and that's why Hannah was playing on the right back, and basically Hannah was against Lauren Hemp. So I think we might try something similar, and just because I don't think Ella Toon is a better number 10 rather than a better winger. So I don't want Ella Toon to waste her talents on the wing for this game, because we might need her against the likes of Vicky Losada, the centre back partnership of Manchester City, and Bunny Shaw, who's their striker. So I think I wouldn't start Tooney as the right winger. I wouldn't start Russo as the right winger. We need her from the middle. It's about sacrificing either Brune or Russo. One of them have to be benched, in my opinion. That's my opinion, because we need the width right now. We need the width because when we look at the fullbacks that City have, they don't actually pose any threat to our wingers, but it's their wingers that pose threat to our fullbacks. So I think that's why we need to have four strong pair, like four strong wide players, and just because I think Kirsty Hansen can do very well. She's very hardworking on the pitch. She presses a lot and she supports Ona Bhatia or Anna Blundell in the defense. So I think we might need Hansen. I know she hasn't played lately because of injuries, but this is the game where Kirsty Hansen will shine. And on the left side, I think, I mean, I have been a very big fan of Kirsty Smith this season, but I don't know what will happen. But like TJ in the comments often mocks me that I put Kirsty Smith over Hannah Blundell. It's not about Hannah Blundell, but it's about the link up between Leah Galton and Kirsty Smith. They complement each other very well, and they've been here, I think, from the first season, or like I think Kirsty Smith was here from the first season. So both of them play really well together, and I think that's why Kirsty Smith and Ona Bhatia should be the fullbacks, and Kirsty Hansen has to start just because I think her physicality and pressing can be an advantage against the likes of Lauren Hem and Demi Stokes.
Oh, John Foster didn't agree with that, and he was straight off. Look at him. John, I'll come to you then on that because it's a good talking point to have because I've raised concerns about Russo on the right and her work rate. I think her work rate going forward, can't fault it, but her tracking back against Chelsea was very, very poor. And from what I've seen of her when she's played on the right, she's not really a winger, is she? So she doesn't have those instincts to come back. Whereas you look at someone like Leah, she will track back on that side. And as you mentioned there, Kirsty Hansen will do the same. So, John, what do you think on that then? Do you think we should be not changing it up because she started obviously earlier in the season, but bringing someone like Hansen back in and going for a more of a workhorse team than a, let's say, quality team?
Yeah, I think it's a good shout, really. Like I say, the City have got some, a lot of threat on the wings. So I think picking somebody like Hansen, probably be a good, counter to that. I think like I say, he's not played for last few games much at all. But I think she could do a good job. Do a good job on Sunday. Certainly, like I say, against Hemp, she's a player there who really has been in form the last couple of months or so. So we do need to be extremely aware of her. And like John was saying, we've just got to try and keep it as tight as possible for as long as possible, like we did sort of like against Arsenal in the Conti Cup game. Just take the chances when they present themselves and not go too gung ho early on or anything like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting shot from Lanza in the comments as well, saying that he wouldn't start Brun up top. John Foster, if you are there, he's not. I don't think. Is he there? No, I'll come back to him. Atanu, I'll come back to yourself then. On that comment, obviously that's on screen. I said you mentioned Hansen there. I mean, if you put Hansen on the right, obviously you assume Leah's going to be on the left. Are you putting Russo down the middle, or are you putting Senior up top?
Just because Russo has scored against City, I'd put Russo. It's nothing against the players that I'm benching. I think a few days back I put out a tweet as well. The quality in this team is so good right now that it wouldn't be fair on any player who's on the bench. Same way, if like I said, Kirsty Hansen plays on the right and Leah Gordon plays on the left. Russo starts from the middle, and Tooney as the central attacking midfielder. So either Katie Zellem or Vilde Borisa or Jackie Cronin have to be sacrificed because we obviously need Haley Ladd in the team. So I think Russo will start just because of the link up between Tooney and Russo. And what I think is that against Arsenal, I think last game, yes, Arsenal. Against Arsenal, we subbed off Bruno and Russo together, and we didn't have any creative striker in the middle. We subbed in Martha Thomas, but we didn't there was no proper winger. So Martha Thomas was shifting to the wide and trying to create more and trying to cross, but there was nobody else in the box to actually head the ball. So I think with that respect, coming off the bench, Fuso, Brune, and the likes of Carrie Jones might actually have a big impact. And Carrie Jones did really well in the Conte Cup game along with Fuso. So why not give them some game time in this game?
Yeah, it's a good shout. And something else you mentioned, John, I'll come back to yourself, is the fullbacks. And there's a shout in the comments, I can't find it, that one there. Talking about Smith and Blundell as the fullbacks, and maybe Honor on the right wing to kind of cover and track him. Is that something you'd maybe look at? It's not something we've tried, but it could be an option because I think Honor actually, when she came on, I believe she came on in the second half in the Conti game against Arsenal. She came on as a right winger, albeit for only about 10 minutes or so. But she did come on there. So, John, do you think that could be an option?
Yeah, I'd not thought of that myself, but maybe, like you say, sort of like doubling up on it. With two more defensive-minded players on the right could work out. I think certainly Smith and Blundell. They've I think they've been playing well this season. Smith's played well. She's come back into the team recently, so yeah, I could see that. I could see that potentially happening.
Just sticking with the fullbacks then, because obviously I think obviously we're talking about Hemp at the moment, but City have got quality all over the pitch. Obviously on the right side as well, they'll have Park. Obviously, but it's Schumann. Maybe is Bunny Shaw fit? I think she is. So you'd expect her to be leading the line as well. So it's something. Yes, we've got to be wary of there. But I think from watching City this season as well, you'd expect to see Lucy Bronze coming up there. You'd expect to see obviously Stokes coming up as well. They're not just going to have just the winger there. They're going to have the fullbacks bombing on as well and creating overlaps. So it's going to be difficult for the fullbacks. They're going to be in for a long game, and I think that's where this whole kind of conversation is about the workhorse in the team. I think that is where you throw a Kirsty Hansen on the right, because you'll have it on the left because Leah works her absolute socks off on that side, and she will track back and help out. You'll have Lad covering anyway, but you don't want what happened at Chelsea where you've got a massive gap on our right hand side. So John Foster, I'll come to you if he is there. It's like trying to signal someone from Mars. This trying to get. Is he there? He's trying. Note to self: never stream from a car park, John. It's not having it. Okay. Oh, hang on. There's a question. Oh, hang on. All the comments have moved. There's a question there. What do you think if he plays two?
I could just about hear you, but you're a bit. I think there's a bit of a delay.
Just a bit. I said that about a minute ago.
Can you hear me?
I mean, we can hear you, John, but it's about a 30-second, 40-second delay. No,
Can you hear me at all?
Go out and come back in if you can hear that. I'll come to you two on the bottom then, considering you can articulate an answer here. Talking about two up top, and obviously Lance was expanded on that, saying Russo and Brun up top. With either Atanu yourself first, is that an option? Could you see us going to two up top maybe, and maybe stack in the midfield?
Not against City because, like I said, their fullbacks are good, but Lucy Bronze is coming after a long time. She's played this season, but she hasn't faced United yet. And Demi Stokes is a good player, is a decent player, but I think that our wingers can easily attack from that side, and that's the question, right? If you put up two forwards, then you lose the creativity from the wing, and that's something that United specialize in. I know I am saying Lucy. I know Leah Galton isn't properly a winger. She likes to cut in, something like what Marcus Rashford does for the men's team. But we need that pace on the wings. We need that pace on the wings just because if we play more midfielders, I know for a fact that Tooney would be the wide midfielder, and I don't agree to that because it hampers her other attributes. And the link up with Russo from the middle is brilliant, because when you see the wingers Leah Galton and Kirsty Hansen on the wings, they actually try to create space for Russo and Tooney to link up and create the goal. And once you play two up top, you don't have the dummy runs from the wingers, and you don't have the basically you won't get much space from the middle, because everybody, the defenders, would be focused on Russo and Brun only. And that's the main reason I don't like this diamond or two up top against a team like City.
Yeah, John, I'll come to yourself and with the same question. Would you try that out against City? I don't actually think we've played a two up top for a while. I think we did maybe once earlier in the season, but
we did play a 4-5-1. We did play a 4-5-1 a few games back against Villa, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was after the Brighton game, wasn't it, when we started stacking the midfield, and that seemed to. Yeah. I think Staniforth was in there as well. We had that kind of five in midfield run. But John, just sticking with yourself, then before I come to it kind of links into this topic actually. But that question there, talking about Brun and Russo maybe as a strike partnership and sacrificing maybe some of the wingers.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see at some point. I think would be very good to see that at some point. But I don't think it'll be this game. I think it'll be like you say, Connor, another one of those where we're going to, pack the midfield and keep everything tight and under control there, and just pick a moment against City.
Yeah, definitely right. John Foster, I'm going to come to you if we can.
I can hear you. Yeah, ask me a question while I'm here.
Right. So we're talking about the two up top. There was a comment earlier, I can't remember where it was now, talking about Russo and Brun potentially up top. Obviously, Atanu's topic was about Kirsty Hansen coming in on the right-hand side. So just all of that, really. What kind of approach would you go to kind of nullify City's threats on the wing, in particular, obviously, Lauren Hemp on the left side?
Okay, I think it's gone again, but I'm going to keep talking anyway.
Says he's going to keep talking.
I'm going to keep talking and then just roll me out if my internet goes down. But yeah, the way I see it is I would have played two up top, but the question is, would you play Russo and Brun as well? I would like to see that at some point. Whether or not this is the right game for that, I'm not too sure. I would like to see Hansen or Fuso, to be honest, maybe even Fuso. I can hear you. Can you hear me? I'm fine. I can hear you.
Yeah. It's all good.
This is going to be one of the hardest shows with John's internet. Oh my life! I'm going to give up with John until he moves his car. Sticking with the right-hand side, there is a couple of questions coming in, particularly about the defence. I'll come back to that in a second. Someone that John just mentioned there is obviously Fuso, maybe on the right. Could she maybe start this game? Could anyone see that? Or do you think, again, she's going to be an impact player coming off the bench as we've seen in previous weeks? I'll let anyone go on that one first.
Yeah, I think it'll be more of an impact sub again. I don't know if I don't think Fuso's started a league game, has she? Maybe one or two, but I don't think she'll start this one. No, I think it'll be we say on the right. It'll probably be Hansen or somebody else similar. I think so. I'll probably see Fuso coming on with maybe 20-25 minutes to go, something like that, and make a bit of impact.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with that as well. Atanu, I can see you nodding your head. So I think, are you in agreement with that as well, that Fuso would probably be an impact sub as well?
Yeah, I think Fuso, I'd love to see Fuso start, but thinking from a Mark Skinner perspective, I don't think he'll go with Fuso. He'll go with Kirsty Hansen. Fuso as an impact player is fantastic. Fuso she did really well in the Conti Cup as well, all the 3 group stages game. But I don't know why she hasn't been given much game time lately, especially in the league, because I think she deserves to start. But just because Kirsty Hansen has those extra pressing capabilities, has much experience, and has scored in the Derby last season, I think Kirsty Hansen, takes the edge over Fuso in this game.
Yeah,
definitely. Can I talk? Can I talk while you're here? Okay, so on this, I just think why have we took Tooney off the right wing? By the way, could we keep Tooney out wide and then play like 3 real good midfielders? So I'm not saying that's Tooney's best position, by the way, but how come we've suddenly gone from playing Hansen, playing Tooney out wide and put Hansen there? Is that because Hansen can track back better? I appreciate Hansen can track back better than Russo, but can't you do it better than Tooney? Tooney likes to get stuck in as well. I'm not saying that we should. I'm just hearing a lot of Russo out wide, Fuso out wide, but Tooney's doing a job out wide as well, and then that would allow you to play a Bobisa, Zellum, Lad, or Jackie, or whoever. I'm just throwing that one back out there while I'm hearing a few things in between my Wi-Fi breaking up and my 3G, 4G, whatever G's is, XG, all that kind of stuff. Back over to you, Connor.
Oh, crikey. You got worse internet than Matt Crane here on this show here. But it's a good point you raise, actually, because I think, Atanu, you mentioned it earlier about it's not Ella's best position. I think we'd all agree that we don't think Ella's best position is out wide, but it has been working recently. Her right on the right, Leah on the left, Russo down the middle, and that midfield of Lad, Zellum, and Borisa. Do you think for this one, it's kind of sticking with the same topic before I move on to a question about the defence? that we have to kind of just stick to what we've been doing and stick to what we know rather than overcomplicating this game and thinking, well, it's City, we need to change it up a bit. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about us being favourites, that we should just go there going, no, we know how to play. This is the way we're playing and we're coming there to beat you, rather than going, oh, it's City, should we change a bit? Should we do this? And in fact, I'm going to tie it in with this question, actually, talking about 3 defenders there. Talking about Mannion, Thor, and Coldwell potentially, it kind of links into my question as to, the fact that we're going in as fans anyway, talking about being favourites, that we should maybe just stick with what we know. And I think we did against Arsenal. Obviously, we did against Chelsea. Obviously, it wasn't a great result there. But Atanu, would you kind of agree with that then? Or could you see him maybe changing potentially a back 3? I don't know whether Mannion is going to be fit enough yet. It's going to be a last-minute decision if she is.
No, I don't think he'll go with a back 3 just because Millie Turner isn't back right now, and Mannion has been suffering from a knock or some fluid in the knee. So I don't think he'll be going with a back 3, because if by chance there is I don't want to say because I always jinx it, but we don't have depth in the centre back position. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want Tooney on the right just because, yes, she can track back as well as Kirsty Hansen. But Tooney's capabilities from the center are a lot better than her capabilities on the right wing. And I don't want to hamper those capabilities. And I really want Tooney to score in this game, because people have criticized her a lot after not taking that, after not scoring against Arsenal. So I want her to score in this game, and just because I think her best position is from the center, and her link-up play with Russo is fantastic.
Yeah, and John, Neville, I'll come to you just for the last word before we move on onto your topic there. What do you kind of think off the back of that then? I said talking about obviously Tooney out on the right, and whether we should stick to what we know, obviously in recent games, or whether we do try and change it up and potentially go 5 at the back.
I think it'll probably be a back 4 again. I think it'll probably be the same back 4 as the Arsenal game. To be honest, I don't think he'll throw Mannion back in when there's quite a bit of doubt over her. I know 1 or 2 are saying that she's not definitely out. She's potentially available, but I don't think he'll. I think he might stick with the same back 4 as last weekend, and I think as regarding on the right hand side, it could well be Tooney, but I've got a bit of a feeling he might just make an alteration there, whether it's Hansen or Russo. Might be one of those 2 out there. I think he might do that and have Tooney more central.
Yeah, John coming in and out is really confusing me.
Back again.
I'm sorry, I'm trying. He just keeps on going in and out. Can you hear me? Because I just talked for a second. So I just heard people talking about 2 minutes ago about playing 3 at the back. I don't think he'll start with that, but there will be times throughout the game where potentially we could do that. I'm sure at one point, was it against Arsenal where we won 1-0, where we went 5 at the back at one point to do that? So it is possible, throughout times of the game, we could flip to that, but I don't think we should start that. I think Connor said at this thread that because if we are favourites, we should just do our own thing, and because our thing at the moment is working, we just need to concentrate on our own game and just continue with that. And that goes with when people say we should play Brun and Russo as 2 up top. I don't think we need to, because what we're doing at the moment is working. We just didn't, before we had Brun, we just didn't have that strength in depth. So I still think we should stick to the way that we've been playing, but now we've got that quality in the squad to go with that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone's loving you. Kind of.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. I'm doing the best I can. I'm on my work break. I worked an extra 4 hours tonight. Basically, my boss asked me. He says, "Can you stay till 10?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I'll stay till 10, but I need a break between 7 and 8." So basically, I'm working an extra 3 hours. I said, "You'll have to let me go to the car park because I wasn't going to use one of the offices." So I'm literally sitting in my car, on my lunch break doing a 13-hour shift just so I can chat with you guys, and it's not even working because my flipping 5G, 4G, whatever 3G is these days, it just isn't working. But anyway, it's all good. Thank you, TJ.
It's that is commitment to the cause. That is right there. You've got Atanu staying up late to come on. John, we need a story here to because Atanu's staying up late to come on here. John's on his 13-hour, he's on his lunch break. I've just got back from the shop and come on here, so not too much in mind going on. I think
no, mate.
Just to wrap up the City talk, unless anyone else does, if someone just shout over the top of me if there's anything else that someone wants to talk on the City thing. But I think we need to go around and talk predictions and try and, I don't know. None of us are going to predict City wins here, surely. But go on, John Foster. I'll come to you first. And what's your go for anything you want to talk about? Score prediction, fan prediction, anything.
Well, on Anthony's show that went out at midday today, we kind of discussed the same kind of thing, and I think I said a 2-1 win for United, and I'm actually giving that prediction not just with my heart this time; it's kind of with a brain as well. And obviously, it could go either way. And if I was a City fan, I could say potentially City win 2-1. But I do genuinely think that based on what we've done lately and the belief that they've got, that we can actually win this game. So I'm going to say 2-1. Hey, well, I'm not too sure. It's very possible that we can concede a goal. So that's kind of why I said a 1-0. But I think what would hurt me the most, and I'll openly say this, is if we just make a mistake and we end up conceding and not scoring. Like a simple mistake at the back. Because we haven't made that many in the last 10 games. And that would be disappointing because we've seen to iron them creases out, since the start of December. Hence why we've been doing so well. So I think so long as we keep it tight to the back, we can definitely score a couple of goals.
Yeah, definitely. And just sticking with yourself, Atanu's just put it in our private. Do you want to try and predict this and anything else that you want to add on it? I know obviously we're talking United City here, but a game that could impact us obviously on in about 5 minutes' time. In Arsenal and Chelsea, do you want to try and predict that one as well? Obviously, I'll come around the house on that one. But John Foster, do you want to start us off on that one?
Yeah, again, that's a game that could go either way. If it was at the start of the season, Arsenal was flying. They're not flying anymore. There's like Chelsea that scare me in the league. From the last 3 weeks, from what I've seen, last 3 or 4 weeks with what I've seen of Arsenal, that the capability is there. But whatever the new manager whatever Jonas has done, it started off really well, but they haven't kept it going. Whereas other teams have kind of got better over time, us included. So for me, I've got to go for Chelsea. I don't know if they're favourites or not. I know Arsenal's top of the league. I don't know if they get the win, they'll really feel like that they can go on and win the league from there. But again, based on form and what I've seen lately, Chelsea are a better team. So I would go for a Chelsea, something like a 2-1 or something like that again.
Yeah, definitely. Atanu, for yourself for both games, for the derby and for the header tonight.
Oh, I won't be predicting the derby because after that you all will be abusing me. I'll not be predicting that. But yes, I think United should win that. United should find it easy to win the derby. With respect to the Chelsea Arsenal game, I want both of them to lose points, and both of them should be deducted points. And this has happened before once in when between United and Arsenal in the men's team. A brawl happened and both of them were given point deductions. So I'd love to see some point deductions today. But yeah, jokes apart, I think Chelsea do have a better team than Arsenal. And when we look at the form, Arsenal won't have the upper edge, even though they have started with Miedema, Blackstenius together in this game. Both of them are starting, but that front three of Chelsea's back, Kirby, Kerr, and Harder. So I think. Arsenal would find it very, very, very difficult to, defend against these three players. And they also have Jess Fleming on the bench who scored against us. They have Cuthbert who's doing really well. So I don't think Arsenal have any chance today. Chelsea will win easily and they'll win the title.
Oh,
okay, but will they win it on the last game of the season when they play us?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
I mean, no. It's like if there is a chance, if United are second, then United and last game of the season is United and Chelsea. So United will win it on the last day. And reminiscing of the past, the Aguero goal, Similarly, 2 will score a goal similar to that, and United will win it.
You know what's going to be funny? That last game of the season, all the Arsenal fans will be wanting Man United to win, won't they? It would be great if we could go into that game knowing that we're already top 3, and then do we do Arsenal a favour or not? It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's a big shot. I'll tell you something, Atanu. If that happens and Atanu runs through and scores a winner like an Aguero moment, we will be on the pitch. There's no doubt about that. There's no way they'll be keeping us back at Kingsmeadow trying to stop us getting on the pitch.
But Sang was a Chelsea fan. She said that they have a game in hand as well. Even if they lose this game and win their game that they have in their hand, then also they'll be at the top of the table.
Yeah, definitely. Because they're 2 behind, aren't they? So win today, go a point ahead, and they have obviously that game in hand. Could put them 4 clear as well. But as we've seen with games in hand, you have to win your games in hand. Just because you've got that number doesn't always guarantee you a win. As we've seen in the WSL this season, there's been a lot of ups and downs. John, come to you then for your predictions, tonight's game, and obviously the derby on Sunday.
I think. For the United game, I think I can see us nicking a 2-1. Hopefully, I agree with John there. I think we might just get one latish on and pinch that. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I think tonight, I think I can see maybe a 1-1 there. Maybe Chelsea scoring early and. Arsenal getting a late one like they did against us last weekend, something along those lines. So, I think I'll go for a 1-1 tonight. Keeps us in the hunt.
Good shouts there. I'm just looking at the lineups. I'd say Flash Scores is notoriously bad in women's football for putting players in the positions that they've got Beth Mead in the 6th position. I can tell you that that's not happening. Arsenal will get torn apart.
They put 2. Sorry to interrupt. They put 2 in your front one of the games, and like Russo or Brun behind them or something. They've done something crazy. They don't know who the players are, do they? They've literally just looked. Oh, she's a striker. We'll just put her there.
Definitely. I think for my predictions, and I think I'll start with tonight's one. I can see Chelsea just turning them over. I think from what I saw against Chelsea, against us, and obviously that last time out against City, I just think they just, as we know, Emma Hayes has been there a long time. They're just a well-oiled machine. It doesn't matter who you put in that team. I know they've lost a couple of games this season, but ultimately they're still an absolutely fantastic side. And you look at their front line, the Kerrs come back in, as Atanu mentioned, Cuthbert's there, Kirby is there, Harder, Carter. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I know Arsenal have got Miedemar and Blackstenius in there as well, but I just don't know how you can keep that Chelsea attack quiet. So I think for me, I'll go for 3-1 Chelsea. And as for the derby, I'm a little bit more confident than I was. I was looking at their team thinking, City, a different outfit. Now they've got some players back. They're going to be a completely different test to what we saw when we played them before. But I think Skinner at the moment has got the team believing that we can go to big teams and go to win. We saw that. I know we lost the game at Chelsea, but we went there believing we could win. We went there and played bar the mistakes, and especially in the second half, like with a bit of, we're not just going to get rolled over like we were earlier in the season. We saw that away at Arsenal twice. So I can't see us keeping a clean sheet because I don't think you can keep that City attack quiet. So it sounds pretty predictable and cliche, doesn't it? The kind of 2-1. That's always what everyone says in big games is 2-1. But I think I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to stick with 2-1, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's like 3-3 or something crazy. I don't know. It's just got that edge of being. I think tonight is obviously being hyped up as the game, Chelsea Arsenal, but that could be a 0-0 tonight. We could see an absolute thriller on Sunday. So, yeah, I think 2-1. Cool, right, John. We'll come to your topic then. Talking about, in fact, no, I'll let you lead it in. Okay, consider it's your topic there.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about the international break that's coming up after this weekend, and whether everybody thinks if it's going to, affect our good form, good run, and if it's coming at a bad time for us, and a really important time of the season, really. Just wondered what everybody's thoughts were on that, really.
Go on, John Foster. I'll let you have the first word now, because I think just quickly, we always say this with international breaks, doesn't it? It always seems to come at the wrong time for United. We said this obviously previously with the last one over Christmas. Well, it wasn't an international break, but you know what we have the Christmas break. It always seems to come when we're on a bit of form. So I think it would be damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because when you're losing, you don't want an international break, and same when you're winning. I think. Well, everyone knows my opinions by now on international. So John, I'll let you take it away on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work against us, but I don't think it can work for us because we're doing so well at the moment. I think we're just going to keep playing, don't we? Potentially, it might depend on the result of this game. You know, maybe we need to, if we do lose this game, maybe we just do need to maybe refocus. But I think no matter what happens from Christmas until now, you can step back and think, you know, look how well we've done. You know, we've picked up points here and there. And even if it's just a draw against City, I still think that would be a positive result in the grand scheme of things. So I don't know if it's a bad thing, but it's just a chance to regroup. And I think, you know, these breaks can come at a good time because even though it stops the momentum, kind of also stops you from getting carried away as well. So what I like to do is I like to judge things like after a group of games. So like have like maybe like 4, 5, 6 game blocks and think, okay, so to a maximum of 18 points here, if we can get like 12 or 13 points, then that's like an achievement. And I think Skinner will look at this and think, okay, we've had a real tough spell of games, but we've still managed to achieve this. So even though we are playing really well, and you don't want to stop that momentum, I think we've kind of passed that now. I think we're better than that. I don't think it's just about momentum anymore. I do genuinely think that we're actually a good enough team to not rely on momentum anymore. So, yeah, it could work against us, but I wouldn't want to use that as an excuse for the first game back if we lose.
Atanu, I'll come to you. So before I do, does anyone know the answer to John's question at the bottom there? Is England Spain at Carrow Road, I believe? I'm not too sure. I can't remember whether that was at Carrow Road or the Molineux. If someone does know, let us know in the comments. But Atanu, I'll come to you then, obviously, on this international break. I think Sang's just put it in the comments that it comes at a wrong time for everyone. I think let's just scrap internationals. We don't need them. Atanu, what's your kind of... We'll go on.
No, very quickly. We mentioned on the show yesterday with Reese and Rich that proposal of having 22 games throughout the season and then an additional 10 games. And what that would allow you to do is pretty much play every game, every week, every game. I'm not saying I agree with that because I don't want it to be, you know, it's very much like the Scottish League, isn't it? But that would kind of put an end to all these breaks if we did do something like that, because then you don't need to have like 3 weeks off. It's literally just going to be 1 week, if that. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. But I don't want that suggestion, by the way. But it is something that would work for us when it comes to international breaks.
Atanu, your thoughts on this one?
I think the international break as well, like it's coming at a bad time because if we win this game and there's an international break, the momentum is lost, and you know we are on a winning, like we are on an unbeaten streak in the league. Yes, I know that we've lost in the Conti Cup, but it breaks the momentum, and that's something that really needs to change. Uh, I mean, you know that I don't like international breaks when my team is doing well. But at the end of the day, the players also do want to represent their teams, respective teams, which is fine with me. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't have any. You know, Connor, it's difficult to put it into words. But yeah, I don't agree with the international break at such a crucial stage in the season.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that, especially because for me personally, I'm pretty sure this is just it's not qualifiers, it's not anything. I believe this is a cup of some kind. I can't remember. I don't follow internationals enough to know what this break is for. I think it is some kind of mini tournament, if you will. But to me, it's just when you see friendlies and things like that mixed in. This is essentially what this is, a glorified friendly. I just think it's not needed when I get why they do it is to give players a chance of playing that maybe doesn't play for their club team because of the limited number of games in the WSL. But for me, it's just not something that mid-season like this, I don't think it's needed or necessary to have something like this, because the risk of injury, let's say Bo Risa or somebody like that who's been in great form recently goes away with Norway and gets injured, we're then obviously so with Norway, but it just ruins, as we just discussed, momentum for them for the season, because you've got a player on top form who then gets injured with their national side, and it's just, to me, it's not one. But John, obviously you raised the topic initially. What's your kind of thoughts on it then? Do you think it could hamper momentum? I mean, I guess it all depends on the result, because if we lose, I don't know. I've never been one personally. If we lose, I don't want an international break either, because then you've got to wait longer to try and rectify it. So I don't know. Obviously it was your topic. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm really against it, especially this time. Once it's after the Christmas break and everything like that, I don't think there should be any more internationals after that, really, till the season's finished. I think they should just concentrate on, getting the season done and everything, and all the cups. It just seems like totally pointless to me. It's not even a qualifier or anything like that. Like you said, it's just like a glorified friendly, really. I think all it can do is just bad for us, really, risking injuries and traveling and all that, players getting tired and everything. We just don't need it at all, I don't think.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe as well, there's another international break in March, I think, mid to late March. And it's just, when you've got a run in, obviously, you could say, obviously, we're in the top 3 run in. Chelsea, Arsenal are in the top in a title fight. You don't, and obviously Leicester, Birmingham, relegation battle as well. You don't want breaks in amongst that. The whole point is you have it. It's called the run-in for a reason. You don't want 2 games stop, 3 games stop, it just, I don't know. To me, I'm just never a fan. No one can ever convince me that the international break is a good thing. I just want to round it off then on some positive news. It's not really news. It was just kind of, I don't know whether people were expecting it or whatever came out today, that there's if you're on Twitter, you'll have seen there's been a lot of content today from Man United women in particular, and the Man United page about the women's team, which has been good. So just want to come to each of you kind of, I don't know whether there's something behind this, the timing of it. Obviously, we know what's been happening on the men's side at the moment, but the Man United men's account have been pushing the women's team a lot more. Obviously, we've just seen that United Women have just got their own TikTok page as well. That was promoted. There was a lot of pictures of Old Trafford. Atanu, I want to come to you after John on this one about the devs are involved in this photo shoot as well. So, John Foster, I'll come to you first. Now, I don't know. It seems. It kind of came out of nowhere today. There was a lot of posts and a lot of kind of interactions and all these photo shoots and things like that, and just the importance of that and more of that from the media teams.
I haven't seen that because I've been working on a 13-hour shift. But what I would say is there's a new brand deal this week that's been unveiled. So by any chance were they wearing like training kits? Because if they was wearing the new training kits, that's got a different brand on there. So
they were wearing the normal Team United home kits, I believe, in the photo shoots.
Maybe then, I'm not too sure. But if you was talking about like timing, it could be to do with the fact that we just got a new deal with them. I'm not too sure. But don't forget, we've been cried out for this as fans. So we say we want to promote it. Is it because of the game coming up, a derby game, even though that's been sold out now? Is it because of the Old Trafford game? Is that why the main account, the men's account, is being doing it? I'm not too sure, but we want to see all this promotion. We can't say it's a bad thing. We can't say that there's a hidden meaning behind it when we wanted to see it. There probably is, but I'm not too sure what it is. It would make more sense if it was something to do with the new brand deal. So if there was wearing a specific logo that's new, I could understand that from it being like a suspicious kind of thing. But for me, it's needed. Them doing what they should be doing. They are publicising on both accounts, which is great. But yeah, I'm sure there's probably something behind it.
And Atanu, for yourself, as I just mentioned in the pre-bit there, obviously the devs are involved in this. I'm going to call it a photo shoot, but there was obviously some video footage taken as well at Old Trafford. Obviously, that was partially, I think, to promote the Old Trafford game in March. But how good is it to see the devs involved in that as well? Because we've seen kind of, I'm going to call them shoots in the past, but it's been kind of the same players. It's usually Atanu, it's usually Russo or Mary Earps or somebody like that. But we're seeing all the devs involved in this as well. So I don't know whether you want to just kind of talk off the back of that on the importance of those being involved as well.
Yeah, I think this season, for the first time, the women's team official account posted about United making it to the final of the Under-21s League Cup. And I think that's really important to keep people informed, because a lot of people don't actually know what's happening with the devs. It's always always some, like, those 2-3 accounts on Twitter, or some fans who've traveled to to the stadium to watch the games. And I think United doing it, promoting it is really important. And watching the devs in the promotional video, it was actually something that nobody expected. And we saw Poppy Lawson, who's the captain of the Under-21s. We saw Safia, who made it into the matchday squad. We saw Chloe Williams, who's on loan at Blackburn. So we saw many players who, like, it feels good that United are finally appreciating the devs as well publicly. Of course, they do appreciate the devs, but public, like, in the social media, we don't see much many things about the Under-21s or the devs like we do for the men's team. So I think it's really important to actually, it was important, because even if those devs don't play in the Old Trafford game, they do feel a part of the United Women organization. uh, you look at the under 18 games that took place against Everton, that we won 4-1. There were a lot of players who had played for the under 18s who supported them. So similarly, in the future, there might be a game where the under 21s play at the Old Trafford. Similarly, the senior team might come and see them. So I think it's basically them doing what, like, they'll come to see the seniors, and that's a special moment for them.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a comment a bit further up from Lanzo. I'll let anyone jump on the back of this, because I think there was a lot of hype, and I don't quite understand. I don't know. I didn't see it at the time, but that video they did with this new sponsor, Tezos, there was it zoomed out of Old Trafford, and it looked a bit like a camper, similar to what Man City have got at the Etihad, where it looked like there was a couple of stadiums around it. Now, I thought when I initially saw it that was just Carrington. I didn't think anything of it because it has the kind of the layout there. But I don't know. Do you think that maybe, because as Lance was following on saying that maybe we will see a big, I don't know, I'm trying to be positive here, see a big kind of some overhaul with a new director of football. Maybe, obviously, there's the advert went out for the women's, I can't remember the exact job title. I think it was women's director. It wasn't women's director of football, was it?
Head of women's football.
That was the one. So maybe we will see some big structural changes and maybe a stadium like what Man City have got, because there's definitely the space. I can't remember what the original question was now. That was it. Yeah, John, so I'll let you kind of have the last word on this then, obviously, on what we've just said there. Potentially about we will see a bit of an overhaul, and just how good it is to see more women's content on Twitter, with the main account pushing it. And just more content in general. I'm sure with this TikTok account where, Mary Oates and Russo, I think, are brilliant on TikTok anyway. Seeing that being pushed as well, it's just going to bring more eyes to it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I saw the video yesterday with the new training sponsors on. I must admit I didn't notice that bit at the end with the stadium or the new ground potentially being shown on. So that's very exciting if that's potentially happening. But like I say, today there's been all the thing promoting the Old Trafford game, and say the announcement of the TikTok account going live. So yeah, it's like really exciting times by the looks of it. I suppose maybe while there's quite a bit of negativity around the men's team just recently, whether they're just trying to get people a bit more positive by promoting the women's team a bit more, then all good. Like I say, hopefully come the summer there'll be a maybe another big overhaul, and we'll see some positive changes hopefully.
Fingers crossed, definitely. The last question, I don't know whether anyone's heard any more on that. I personally haven't. I don't think there is any news on that. I've not heard, to be honest, I've not heard anything since that job advert went out, whenever it was a couple of months ago. Right, we have reached the hour mark. John Foster decided to join back for the last 30 seconds. as we round off. I'll come to each of you then. Just shout out your my headphones going. Just shout out your socials and things like that. So, John, Neville, where can people find you on socials?
Yeah, it's on the screen there at John_Neville89 on Twitter.
Atanu for yourself. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, it's Atanu_74, or you can catch me on the United Star, which is another channel that I usually come on.
Yeah, definitely go and check that one out. And I'm pretty sure you all know who that guy is. I keep forgetting which way are you that way. John, where can people find you?
Usually in a car park at 8 o'clock at night when I'm working. Yeah, just on Twitter. That's the best one. Yeah, but keep tuned onto this show if you are new, or if you watch this in like 6 months' time because you've just come across it. It is pretty much 5 nights a week, live content, match day content, and there will be a few other things going on as well in the near future as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for everyone in the comments. There's been an awful lot of comments. I've not been able to get through absolutely every single one of them. As you said, I think Ben and Matt's show is back tomorrow, I believe. I'm waiting for John just to tell me off that there isn't. So that's back tomorrow. Obviously, match day content on Sunday, and then back round for match reactions and all that follows next Monday as well. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys soon.